Good morning. Today I want to talk about the fitness industry, and uh, and it just comes from a story that I've lived, but also from something that I had seen at work. But the reason I'm talking is I have a coworker who basically is starting to work out. He's like maybe 6 feet, 6'1". He's like probably 200 plus. Maybe he's like 250. But anywho, he started the process of working out. He says he wants to be a police officer, and I commend him for that because he's kind of just loafing around, not sure what to do with his life. But he seems pretty dedicated, and he he has gotten his macros down, and he said he was like at 220 and 17 or something like that. But also uh, he's also got his workout plan in, which is good. So he seems like he's squared away in that sense. Most people that work out, they just don't know. They just start working out. And I remember when I started working out back like in junior year of high school, I was just whatever felt like I was lifting weights. So I know what that's like. But I didn't have a lot of critiques, uh, but I did have a few. Like one time I asked him about his protein intake because his calories are really low for his weight and for starting out. So I was wondering if he had already calculated for his protein intake so he wouldn't lose muscle mass. And he said no. And he says he'll do it. Part of me doesn't believe it, but whatever. And what else? Um, yeah, I asked about his workout routine. And he says he's got cardio, like, it sounded like twice a day, or not twice a day, twice a week. Sorry, it's like 5 o'clock right now. But yeah, he does cardio like twice a week, and then he does upper, and then he does lower on different days. So he seems like he understands for the most part. Maybe he has worked out before, and he just didn't stick to it. What else? So the biggest reason why I'm talking is because the other day he came to work with a big bottle, like it was like, and I don't know if it'll be to size in the screen, but it was like this. There's a white bottle. Couldn't tell you the name. Something with a big I on it. But it was creatine monohydrate. It's just like it bugs me. Not only did he bring a big bottle of creatine monohydrate, but he bought this fancy bottle too that was also kind of part of the brand, but it was like a brand bottle that was like designed like that, but it had a twist on it at the bottom. I'm like, oh, what about the crevices? Like, how are you gonna get them out? Like, what if they don't come out? Because if you ever mix protein or any powdered drink, there's always clumpage. And you're like, man, how in the world am I supposed to get this out? Like, shake harder. Sometimes it works, and actually, most of the time it works, but there's always the times where it doesn't. And I feel even worse whenever the bottom is like the bottom of the bottle is smaller, but it doesn't help when there's twists and there's crevices in there. Like, it looks really cool on the outside, but you're gonna drink some moldy creatine and protein later on, dude, if you don't get that cleaned out, because it's gonna be stuck in there. But anyways, the bottle sucked, in my opinion, and I just felt bad because I'm like, dude, I felt like he got ripped off. He probably went to a supplement store and they were like, hey, dude, are you trying to get strong? That's just what I think that they're saying to him. I feel like that's probably what I would say too. But yeah, he got the bottle and then he got the creatine monohydrate, and that's the biggest thing that bothers me is just the creatine monohydrate because the dude doesn't look like he's worked out before, honestly, and he's already buying buying supplements. Like I think when you work out, you really should just get a meal plan in, get a workout routine, and then also find a gym you really like that you're dedicated to, that's easy to get to, that's on your way, that isn't out of your way because you won't go if it is. But man, the creatine monohydrate, I just felt like he was just throwing his money, thinking, like that's what everybody does. Even I've done it, like throw money at the problem. Does it work? Yes and no. Sometimes. Actually, it probably only works if you have enough money. That's the truth. Because if you have enough money, you can throw money at your weight loss problem, and you can hire the machines, the scientists. I mean, I don't know if you get out of working out, but whatever the case is, yeah, he's throwing his money at it, and I'll just say I've been there too. When I was working on college, I I bought protein, I bought creatine, and my three splurges that I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna help me in the gains department. Was like a caffeine fat burner or something. It was like $3.99 or something like that. I don't remember, but I thought that would help me. And I did buy Jacked 3D or Jacked, whatever you want to call it. And those were the two that I felt like were the same thing as him, kind of gimmicky, because they don't really exist anymore. They're kind of like they're like not OG because it's really not OG, but they're old and they probably don't exist. And if you have a bottle of it, it's probably worth something to somebody just for nostalgia. What else? Yeah, and that just bugged me that he did that. But I do understand that I've done it too. But the difference I think between me and him was I in high school I already was working out, lifting weights, doing sports, and I did all the sports that I could in school. But on top of that, in college, yeah, I worked out like every day, hardcore. And I'll tell you how hardcore I thought it was. It might not be that hardcore whenever I tell you, but it was a snowstorm, and I woke up and I was like, "Oh yes, classes are canceled, and my roommates aren't even up, and that means that nobody else is up probably, and you know that's fine by me." So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to the gym because I know I'm gonna be the only one there, and I get everything ready. I probably have like sweats on and a jacket. I'm like, it might be kind of cold. I might get snowed on really hard, but I will be rewarded being the only one there working out. Anyways, I get there and I try to open the door and nobody was there. And I'm thinking to myself now, like, why didn't I see this from a mile away? Like, it wasn't very smart, but I was dedicated. It was a 2 mile walk through the snowstorm. And I remember the horrible feeling of like, what an idiot. And I walked back to the dorms, and on my way there, it was just, I guess you could call it sleeting. I don't know, but it was like a wet snow, and you just were soaked after you got back, basically. And on the way back, I saw these two, I guess they're plow city workers. They were just in the parking lot, like they were about to pull out, but they let me pass by, and I'm just like, oh man, I just wish they would take me in the truck and take me back to the dorms. They surely know I'm a college student, but they just didn't say nothing to me. I thought they did, but I was delusional. But I walked back to the dorm and I just take all my wet clothes off, and I just get warm, and I just wait for my roommates to wake up, and then I can't remember the rest. We probably went and got some breakfast. They probably opened up that for a while. But anywho, to the point is that I was serious. I was in college for like 2 years before I had left, but I was serious for those 2 years. I was lean. I was a lean 175. I went into college like 160. So I ate a ton and I worked out a ton. And that's just the thing is like for him, if he's starting to work out, I just wouldn't recommend buying anything except maybe protein, and go work, just start working out, get a baseline of, hey, this is where I'm at. These are my rep ranges. This is my set range. And this is just who I am at the moment, And I would just say, dude, get something under your belt real quick, like lose a few pounds, uh, do it for a month. So you can at least say, yeah, I've done it for a month. I've got a baseline of where I'm at, what I want to do, and how I feel, and tweak what you need to tweak. But don't just start buying the thing that guy at the store said, the really jacked dude. Because at the same time, yeah, the dude's really jacked. And I would also say, yeah, if the dude's jacked, maybe his advice isn't bad. But also, if the dude is jacked and he's trying to sell you something, you should probably be cautious because he's got ulterior motives. The GNC stores when they existed, like the dudes in there were jacked, but they were trying to make some cash on the side too. So I would just say, don't buy everything, man. And that's the thing that irks me the most is when you start working out and you just buy things, but also the guys at the fitness stores, the supplement store, they're not the fitness store, the supplement stores, they try to upsell you hard. I mean, I've even got stories from my roommate of he's like going to GNC and he's like looking at the things that he wants because he has a good general knowledge of what to get and what not to get. And there's some guy who's in the store too, who's basically getting upsold, probably the cashier, and he's just racking up the bills. And my roommate looks over to the guy, or he looks over to the cashier. The cashier winks at him, and he's just laughing, because you can almost tell like when another guy works out, and you probably couldn't upsell them, you're just like, no man, that's good. I don't want that stuff, I'm gonna stick to what I got. And he just looks at him, he winks at him. And I'm just like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, That's what's wrong with those supplement stores. But anyways, yeah, that's my gripe, my rant is if you work out and you're starting to work out, don't start buying all those supplements. Don't start listening to all the jack dudes. Do research. Like, yeah, they have good advice, but listen to yourself and to research too. And don't just start throwing your money because that extra money that you like, that creatine monohydrate could have been like $50. Honestly, I don't know. It's a big bottle, and that's another few months of, at least the gym that he goes to, another few months of membership right there. And he may never see the benefits, honestly. Like, just he may just generally never see it because he has no baseline. So how's he gonna know the difference? But anyways, yeah, that's my gripe. Thank you.